we are again, man. Going to try once again to see if I can get this guy to simulate. Now, I've got some bugs still to knock out. You can see I still got 4 items here I got to work out. So we've got a few things still that need to be debugged before I can fully launch into my simulation. Now, with the stuff that's going on in the back end here, these bugs, is I keep restructuring. I won't say restructuring, trying to correctly structure the way I want my data to come into the UI. And as I do more and more parts and say, okay, I need to actually pull data, and I need to have that full thread of data going from the back end to the front end, the path at which it gets there and how it's formed as it gets there, I'm starting to realize certain things that I didn't fully gronk at the time I designed it. So that's part of what happens when you're creating a huge game and you're trying to start from someplace. And as you start these little parts and you want to build in different locations, some would say stay in an area, build, add on a chunk. But the thing you don't realize is when you build up from like the back end or even from the front end, just depending on which way, how you're doing it, you start to realize that maybe as you're building the front end, it builds its own little, prongs to pull data, right? But in doing that, what's going to happen is you start building all these little prongs, and unless you fully know how the back end is going to shape up, it may not be able to provide you those prongs that you want. It's kind of like, being given a bunch of cords and not knowing yet what you're going to be plugging into. Are you going to be plugging into a European outlet, American outlet, some other place, and their weird outlets? Are you going to have to plug into USB? What are you going to be plugging into? What's the most efficient, best way for the system to build up to provide that power to all the little plugs that you're creating? So when it finally comes down to, you don't want to have a whole lot of adapter plugs, pieces to try to plug in. That's just going to make it more complicated and spaghetti. So as you're trying to get it, you're trying to get the optimize on both ends. When they come together in a nice, clean, easy to follow process where all the plugs come into nice, organized, all the power sources plug into really nice plugs. So, and that's kind of what's happening. As I start having my front end is now putting out its tethers looking for data, I'm finding that some of the tethers it's asking for don't make sense in conjunction with the back end, which is putting out the source, the data, the power source. And now I'm ironing those all out. So it's like, okay, well, we want this to kind of match this and this to make it easy for this. And I'm finally starting to connect all those pieces. But there's still a few little pieces that are needing to be adjusted and tweaked so that they function correctly. So I'm getting there. I spent a lot of time last week getting down and getting things cleaned up. Hopefully my first connection is coming soon. My first flip the switch and see if the power actually generates the way it's supposed to. So anyway, so in doing that, I'm trying now to see if I can get all the way through these parts. And we will see if I can get the so like right now I gotta get my team details. I thought it had stuff. My team details object does have a game plan ID. I don't know if it's called coach game plan ID. And as I start plugging in parts, like I created a bunch of different sections that have I have a bunch of different sections that are all now just for the first time starting to talk to each other because I created all the parts and they couldn't connect. There was nothing for them to feed, and now I'm starting to make that stuff exist. And sometimes they didn't line up correctly as I had hoped. I don't think the team details is over here. Oh, it is over here. Oh, there is a user game plan ID and coach game plan ID. Makes sense that they would be, but why is team details? Oh, why is that in the game session? Oh, well, why is that? Why is team details returning a game? Oh, no. Okay, I get it. I gotta catch up to my Friday. I probably even wrote this down. No, that's my prompt. All right, so I think I decided what I was working on here was I don't think I need to pass in the game session anymore. I just need to pass in the actual teams, and I think that's where this is supposed to be. See, that fixes the connection. I was worried that I needed the game session for something, and I actually don't think I do now because I'm actually going to pass in the home team. And I was like, oh, why do I need to be looking for, you know, digging through whether the home team or not? I'm going to have these sessions come in, and I'll just mark which one's which. So with that, I don't need to decide some of this stuff. So I decided I just get rid of it. And I kind of stopped in the middle. This is one of the, I don't like doing that because I have to take notes, and sometimes apparently, did I actually take a note in there? No, this is all. All right, so we got what? Everything in here? All right, so we still have the requirement, which is what that was. But I'm passing in a game state. I think that was one of the things I needed to add to this, which is just gotta make sure that I have everything I need after that. But see, this is kind of complicated because it reads through all the game states of a session, and I'm like, well, why do I want to do that? Just pass the game state I need, and it'll be a lot cleaner. And I separated out the singular game state calls from the list. I mean, yes, my session can pull all the game states, but I'm trying not to pass all the game states because that's 185. I'm sorry, 100, anywhere from 90 to 150 game states for every game, and every one of those has 22 players at least worth of data going on in every play step, which can have its own. There could be, you know, up to 100 play steps in every single, or more than 100 play steps in every single play log, which comes with every game state. So I'd be passing thousands of lines of data or pieces of data every time somebody wants to pass around a game session. So I don't really want to pass game session if I don't have to. So the idea is to kind of make it like, okay, well, I have this game session. Let's just pass what I need in most cases. It'll make it a lot cleaner, and I'm not doing things like looking at arrays of all of my game states. Most of this looks like it's going to go pretty straightforward. Like I don't need anything else but the game state here, and I just need to know. If user just use the team ID to get game plan. Let's check if coach or default is just there. I'm trying to see, like, I've been simplifying code a lot lately, and I'm trying to see if this actually needs to, if user just uses the team IDs of the team. Also check if code or default, adjust the ID. What would be default? Oh, there's time. Oh, default is not using either the user or the coach. I'm trying to decide if I even need, if source is coach, if it's user. If it's not coach or user, then it's just default. I even need all this, because it's only going to be one or the other. I think I could just say else. I don't understand, why would I ever have a game plan ID that's none of the above? It should never be that. Alright, so this will say if it's coach this, user this, default this. Otherwise we got an error because it's missing something. Or we don't pass something we needed in. So get game plan from game plan service. So now that we have our, hopefully I have our ID or information we need to get the game plan from game plan service. We're just going to go fetch it. Try to find a matching situation. Now this is where we're going to dig through the game plan and actually check using the game state, determine what plays go back. So I need to go get a game state on this. Please, I gotta go find this is called. Actually, I probably should just add on to a game state. Trying to figure out what do I need. What do I need here? Home team is a boolean that tells us what they're not. Information is on team. So I think there may be information. That's all on team. So I'm trying to decide if I need another object, because really, well, I do need to pass the game state in here. What is source? Source is this. Oh, and that's me defining it. Yeah, I have to actually pass in strings. That's valid. Alright, so I might need game state. Let's go see what finding matching. Nope, that needs to read the game state in a bunch. So yeah, we definitely need game state. I was just looking to see if maybe there was a variable I could somehow use that didn't require me. The only other thing I could think of is figuring out, if I could figure out that it's home team by using the game state. Is there a way to know if it's the home team without, I just don't like to pass extra variables. Or passing extra data, like something like a bool that can be tested somewhere else. So if I could determine, but team details won't tell me. So unless the game state will tell me which one's the home team, I don't know that let's go see what my game state shows. Player simulator. So I got a game state here. I think it will tell me, but I'm not sure if the dig is worth the result. So I got team play info. What is that one? See, then I would have to know which team, because this is an array of both teams. So I'd have to pick the team ID that matches the team details. I have a feeling there might be a problem here. I'm looking at this going, I think I might have a problem. Because I'm trying to think how this is stored to the database. And if I store team play info, what's the key? What's the ID? If I combine it with the team ID and the game state, that is two objects that could work, but I don't know. Do I have to have an ID? Then I have to always, I'd have to probably figure out the index, which would have to be a team ID plus the game state ID. But anyway, this has possession. Has possession works. So I would have to get the game state, find the one where the team ID matches the team. So team details should have the ID. That's the team details ID. That's not the team. I'm trying to. Where is team ID? Am I not passing the team ID in? I have a team ID here, but where is this getting set? I have a game state ID. I'm not sure where team ID is getting, or team play info team ID is getting set. Needless to say, the game state that I provide would tell me if I had possession based on the team ID. I just got to figure out if the team ID is getting set. So I don't have team ID in there. So how is that being defined? I have team details here. Team details just has, I have the user ID that would own the team, but it doesn't necessarily state the team. I feel like I need to have that. How would I ever have the right information here? My team details is missing the team ID. Because the team is not even in this. That was missing. Pretty significant miss, really. Because the team details have to have an ID. They have to. And how do I know what team this is? No other identifier for what teams we're working with. It's just random values without that link. Honestly, I don't think I need user ID here. That's what I don't need either. Because I'm gonna assign a team ID to the session. User ID might I think part of the problem is my streamer key or my streamer games allow for them to assign a team by the user ID. That doesn't work if the user has more than one team. I think it would have to be by the team ID. It would be nice to go by user ID because that makes it easier for the user to assign a team, but if I don't have them pick their team ID, I would have to make them pick an option for default, like their streamer team. Which I guess I could do. I can add an option on that says is streamer team. That'd be pretty easy. I haven't allowed an extra team yet anyway. That's like I'm down the road stuff. That's one of the purchase options is to be able to buy multiple teams. Now some people might just create another account, but there's a disadvantage to that because by having multiple teams, you can build your collections levels faster on your players. It doesn't necessarily help them be better players. It helps them to be, just better cards, like big cards. But that all comes down to trying to figure out how to make how to bling out cards, and that's a graphic thing. And I'm kind of like thinking along the lines of some games that allow you to keep getting fancy cards, like Legends of Runeterra. Like you can get cards that are diamond borders, and in some games you get shiny cards. They're just different cards. But I want to be able to give that. But what is okay, thank you. I have to think through this. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back shortly.